Yeah, every Masters and Grandmaster in this tournament that signed up and checked in is over that 500 hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these players are winning more than they lose.
This is going to be a similar matchup to what you've seen before. This is going to be PVZ, and on a map you know so very well, Daybreak GSL, again, version. Spawning in the top right in the most wonderful, awesome Zerg color ever, pink, not that I play that or anything, is going to be our Zerg player, Sasquatch. Saw him in the past, but his opponent coming up also into the winners round final means he's pretty darn good. He is going to be our green player, Kappn.
Yeah, both these players are...
What would it be like if you could spawn at the bottom left and top right, and you have like from the bottom, like from the bottom right and top left? Could you imagine what it'd be like if you spawned at the bottom left? We already do that, dude. Shut up. And if we spawned on the bottom right of Daybreak, and then you had your natural light down the ramp to the left, like if they expanded that, it became a 4-player map. Oh man, people would be so thrown for a loop. It'd be crazy.
It would be so hard to take that natural expansion because that is a huge distance between where your main would be and where your natural is.
Well, no, I mean, if not the one directly to the left. I mean, if they put in another one, like from the bottom right, like here, go to my camera. So we're right here, and then we're like up, down this ramp, take away the smoke, and bam, you put a natural like right here.
Ah, I see what you mean.
And then like this became your third or something. That'd be like, or you could put like a third out here or something. That'd be crazy. Man, I want to grab my map making friends and be like, do it now.
That would be a little crazy. That would really shift up this this map. Not sure how. Not sure how well that would work.
Shattered. I've got it. Shattered Daybreak.
There we go.
Oh man. Oh, I want that to happen so hard now. I want to be like GSL. Do it. Just do it. So Kappn's gonna come over here. Sees nothing out of the ordinary. We saw a little bit of different from Future, but Sasquatch or Kappn is not going to be doing anything different. Going for that Nexus before or Nexus second, Forge first. Then he is going to be getting ready to drop down a gateway, get that cannon up behind it.
I do like that. He went in, he saw Pool first, and so decided to just play it safe, drop that Forge before the Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the big problems for Protoss on this map is trying to hang on to that third, because roaches just swing around where the that small base, the 6 mineral patch and 1 rich Vespine geyser, they can just swing around through there by the towers, attack the third, attack the natural, attack the third, attack the natural all day long. They can just be so hard to defend.
And we have seen Protosses who very well wall that off with a large series of gateways, but it's still just so big. It's very, very difficult to fully cover that entire terrain with gateways. And there are a couple of spots you can actually hide some banelings there. We'll see if Sasquatch gets a little interesting. Nice second gateway coming down right at the end there for Kappn. Just making sure he finishes that wall off just in time for that cannon to come up. And yep, that'll get canceled real quick. I love that play. This is the sign of a player who's really got their fundamentals down, really knows the metagame as it stands and why it exists. A lot of people, they'd say, oh, well, I don't need to go for the gateway. I'll just go for that, go for the right into the cyber core. Well, then you have Zerglings that run by just before your cannon finishes. They're up the ramp when your cannon finishes, and they're in your base where your cannon can't get near. Kappn completely knows, okay, be ready to drop that gateway, be ready to finish that wall off. I love the structure that his buildings are set up with. Really shows a good stability.
It's a very well rehearsed wall off. That
yes,
all the building placement is just very, very spot on. The pylons, the forge, the gateway, the cybernetics core, everything is just in exactly where it needs to be.
And we do have very, very standard on both ends, droning very heavily coming in from Sasquatch, but he did take a gas pretty early, and it's because he's going for that speed. I'm trying to see, though, he's still harvesting from it. What is he going to be going into? He's going to go for an early, like, 3-base roach play? I'm not sure. He's only halfway there as far as the time counter goes, is what he should be at, but I don't know, what is he getting that gas for?
Well, he could be going for a Baneling bust. It's not all that effective against the buildings that are up front. You know, the Forge has 800 health, the Gateway has 1,000, and the Submariner score is 1,100. So it takes a fair number of Banelings to bust that down. But we could be seeing, you know, a quick Roach bust is probably more likely.
I think it might be just that he's going to go for super fast lair tag, and as he passes the 100 gas mark, we're going to have to see, because if he's going to do anything with his gas, now is the time to do it. He is getting ready to defend against this harass down low, and I wonder if that's pulling away. Maybe it's just delaying his macro and his advancement a little bit. No, Zerglings, no! Don't go and attack the Zealots who just finished their +1, so now they're going to be... Oh, never mind. Nope, Zealots are dead first. I was going to say, Zerglings need to really go for that Stalker, but that Stalker pulls back. Good defense of that harass. I think it happened a little early for Kappn. I would have loved to have seen it delayed by another minute. And, you know, about that 8.5 minute 4-gate harass play going in. And in fact, he is throwing down... Whoa. Oh, okay. He's got 7 gateways coming in. Do you think he's going to be going for that Century Mortar all-in?
He very well could be if you see... Well, you know, he may...
Oh. Force field getting down there just in time, able to stop those Zerglings from going in. 2 evolution chambers going down. Baneling nest. I don't know. You called it. We're gonna have to see.
Yeah, we will. We certainly will. Ling Baneling can really wreck sentries, and the Immortals are especially not very effective against them. So we'll see. This could be the Zerg answer to that Immortal Sentry all-in that we've been seeing so many Protosses do in, I don't know, every tournament since it's been discovered.
Well, you know, there is a pretty solid answer already, and that's first you become Stefano, and then you win.
You become Stefano, and you make Roaches.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how you win most tournaments. The Roach Warren has gone down, so it is going to supplement those. The Roach count is going to be a little bit lower for that Baneling count, but I do like what you were saying. If you can get the Sentries, really just beat him into the ground with those Banelings, then it is a fantastic hit, because then the Zerglings can, you know, go after those Mortals all day long. Now the Immortal Sentry is getting ready to move out, does have some Zealot support, and while the Banelings do bonus verse the Zealots still have 150 health. That's a fair bit. And we do also have a Warp Prism coming out. Oh, this one Immortal is going to be spotted by the Overlord. He might get sniped out. Not going to be the case. And oh man, he sees the Banelings warping. Not so great force fields, really heavy overlapping there, and a lot of warpings coming in to help defend against this. But this is going to be a Baneling bus coming in, and now the Protoss forces are caught outside. Lots of Banelings coming in, some hits landing on those Zealots, but I don't know. This is really dicey. This is a very dangerous position for the Protoss to be in. But at the same time, I want to see those Immortals walking forward first and foremost and get hit. Just the Immortals need to land the Baneling, or need to get hit by the Banelings. That's all it comes down to. They need to use their hardened shields and absorb as much damage as possible. They can eat 10 Banelings apiece. But oh, look at all the Zealots that are Zerglings that have popped out and that have moved out. Warp Prism needs to morph so that it can set up and warp in units. Zerglings are moving around. Banelings are landing what they can. But wow, great force fields, great control by our Protoss player.
He parried that very well. Unfortunately, he lost most of his sentries, and the ones that he has left are very low on energy. So his push, when he's just going to kind of fall back. And
oh, Artosis Pylon. Oh, Immortal at 51 out of 55 seconds. Slew of Zerglings have run in, and they are trying to take out what they can. They're going to get 3 gateways unpowered. They are going to try to wreck some probes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 probes killed. More and more coming in before they're finally going to get cleaned up.
And that's a pretty hard supply block for Kappn. Finally able to break it, but yeah, that sets him back in production all the ways.
And all those pylons that he did just warp in to break that, he still only has the 1 Artosis pylon. In fact, he still has an unpowered warp gate. He needs to get 2 or 3 more out from there, and now we have the Roach count coming in. 21 Roaches on the field, and it's 56 drones, which is actually a little low for a 3 base. I think the natural could use some very heavy saturation. Oh, and a good warping coming in from the Warp Prism way off to the side there. Some Zealots coming in, trying to get just a couple of worker kills, but stopping a lot of that mining time. Look at those idle drones, and the Protoss force moving along the south is going to lay into that third like nobody's business, just a little bit. That Warp Prism needs to act as a distraction, needs to delay what it can, but now, no, the attack down to the third is seen, and the Zerg now has to wonder, where do I defend on... on equal supply, it's very, very difficult. The third has already been evacuated. Spine Crawl is being laid down to the natural, and you don't want to give up this third, but it's exactly what he has to do. The third for the Protoss is already canceled, though. He feels like, I don't care. I can sacrifice a third. I can cancel it. I'm not losing a whole ton. Oh, and now Sasquatch is getting... Oh, this is terrible, terrible for our Zerg player.
Yeah, a couple of well-placed sentries at the natural of Kappn will be able to hold off these Zerglings for quite some time, but a massive amount of Banelings being morphed in. Here they come.
Yep, a few sentries are landing. Great force fields, and the Banelings are mostly very ineffective. One thing is going to go down, but it took, what, 20 Banelings to take out a single warp gate? And then behind that, you've got, and a cannon. Behind that, you've got, a number of sentries and everything. The Protoss player is pulling back because he knows that there's a big counter coming in. All of these Zerg is moving across. Cybercore is going back down, making sure that he can warp in even more sentries. He needs to pull these back because these are all he has. Huge force fields laying down, separating a lot of the forces, zoning a lot of the Zerglings and Roaches.
But here's where the force fields become a hindrance to the Zealots because they just create these choke points that the Roaches really like to take advantage of.
The only thing is these Immortals are giving zero, well, cares, I should say, about everything that's going on. 26 kills, 27 kills, 10 kills on the 3 Immortals. Yeah, the Protoss is exactly where it wants to be. His Cybercore is finishing up now, so he can warp in Stalkers, Sentries, Zealots again. The Twilight Council is getting ready to finish Blink. He doesn't have +2 started up yet, and I'd love to see the attack continuing. And he is forced to cancel, again, that the attempt at a third, but again, the Zerg has a third going down. Really, really what the Protoss needs is a 4th pylon right over at the 4th.
Yeah, so a forward pylon, well, at this point is very hard to defend because the speedlings are just so fast. And the speed roaches, forward pylons are very, very difficult to defend with slow zealots and sentries and immortals. They're all very, very slow units. So the Zerg right now just has complete map control. The Protoss is trying desperately to get this third up because he needs to dump these minerals. He's got 1,800 in the bank.
I would say that he even just needs to start chronoing warp gates, get some more pylons out. He can push on from 2 base. His Zerg opponent is still sitting on 2 base. This harvester count is hardly or barely even. Oh, and now we have a Muta switch coming out. So this is going to be very, very, very big against the Immortals and the Sentries. However, we do have the Blink that's finished. We do have more Stalkers coming out. The Protoss is getting ready to respond to this in kind very well.
Another cancel at the third for Sasquatch. A couple Zealots warped in. Just able to take down that base.
And yet again we have Kappn. Kappn needs to move his army up to defend this third. If his opponent is going to be, if he's going to be denying his opponent's third, he needs to be ready for his own to be denied. Zergling's running in and immediately pushing down a lot of DPS, forcing a number of cancels and getting a few that aren't even canceled. One cannon does manage to go out, barely any whole damage coming in. And he really just wants to get this Nexus, but the Nexus can still be canceled last second. Is he going to get it? Yes. He does get the kill onto that. At the cost of a lot of Zerglings and a lot of Roaches. But, slowly but surely, it seems like the third base is going to get established. The third out and the 4th at the 6 mineral patch is trying to get thrown down for Sasquatch. But the Observer sees it. So, this whole time, what have the Mutas done? Has there been anything?
I haven't even noticed the Mutalisks.
That's just it. There are 15 workers killed for Sasquatch. So maybe he went and he did some progress.
Okay, the Mutalisks did go and kill the Warp Prism. That's what they've done so far. But now there's a nice ball of 11 Mutalisks that are moving out. The Lings and the Roaches now moving across the center of the map.
Yes, and it's kind of silly to watch these on such a big map. The armies move back and forth. It's like, okay, well, you're going to counter me and I'm going to counter you, and then we're both going to move to defend to stop the counterattacks, and then we're both going to try to counter each other again. But then we're going to back and forth and back and forth. Now, Kappn is going to look. He's going to try to see if there's a third down here, and the Mutas are going to come in. They're going to try to get some of these juicy Sentries and Immortals. Oh, wow, just Baneling, Zingling, Muta. You would think this would be a ZVT, but it's not. It's a ZVP. And some more Stalkers warping in, but back at home, no forward pylons going out. Some good force fields landing. A couple of Sentries do get sniped out. Ooh, one barely living. He's sitting at 1 health.
Just look at how many force fields it took to hold out those Zerglings. That's really... They're just so dangerous.
The force fields from Kappn haven't been fantastic, but this engagement for Sasquatch is terrible. He's not trading very efficiently. The supply comparison, absolutely terrible.
Well, if you look at the units for Sasquatch right now, it's mostly Zerglings, Banelings, and just a handful of Roaches and a few Mutalisks. None of those are really high supply units, other than the few Roaches. But still, he's just producing Lings, which are very, very cheap, very, very cheap on supply.
Yes.
And so it just takes so long to max out on this Ling Baneling style.
The Mutas, expensive as they are getting a little weak, so a little careless throw away there. But the third base is up and saturated for Kappn now, and he's getting both of his gases. He has a worker lead. He's feeling so secure. I want to see him move up into Colossus, and in fact, he's just getting. I don't even know if he has. Oh, Muta's coming into the main actually for Kappn, and wow, there are a fair number of pros, 6 pros sitting here on one mineral patch. But there's a cannon here, a cannon there that are going to help defend all of this. Some Blink Stalkers that move in, and the Mutalisks are going to have to move out very, very quickly, losing a few that really he shouldn't. As the attack goes into his third, yet again, shutting that down, killing even more drones. +2 is getting close to finishing, 70 seconds away, so it'll occur partway through this. And as the Spine Crawlers are trying to get back set up, no, these are just not going to happen. Stalkers blinking forward, and this is going to be a huge engagement with a little bit of light coming in there. Fungals landing, stopping a lot of those Zealots, preventing the blink. Wants to land these big Fungals, and now the Zerglings pushing forward. The Banelings need to be focused to push into this Sentries, and the Stalkers get as much splash damage as they can. And now all 3 Immortals have gone down, worth their weight in the gold plate that they wear, that they're gone for now. They aren't doing the huge damage that they need, and suddenly all of Kappn's army is vaporized. Some good Blink Stalker micro is going to help to finish off this Roach, but he really doesn't have enough to keep this attack pushing forward, except maybe to snipe out a few Infestors, but he knows that his opponent is going to be reinforcing very, very quickly, and yes, Zerglings coming right out as the Stalkers are desperately trying to get away. They can blink. Why don't they blink? They just need to blink. Blink, damn you.
Muta's at the third.
Oh, big attack going in. Probes were pulled, and now, yeah, 19 workers killed for Kappn, but 16 for Sasquatch. He only got 1 drone kill off of that, although he did kill all of the force that had hit him through the third and the natural.
Now Kappn's in kind of a tough spot because he's got 1 mining base.
In fact, I wonder, the income tab shows 58 to 41, but Kappn is actually showing relatively equal incomes on gas and minerals per minute.
Oh, actually, Sasquatch is only down to his natural mining as well. Taking out that third was a bigger blow than I thought.
That's a very skimpy looking natural too. He does have the Infestors out, and he is popping some more. I think 4 just popped. So he's got a total of 9 out on the field. Make that, if I can hit the right button, make that 11. And he's even long distance mining from his third just to try to get something going.
Yeah, he just needs any sort of income that he can get right now. When you've got full saturation to your natural, there's no reason to have more drones there. So get them doing something, but a lot of Infestors just sitting at the natural building up that energy.
Yes, and that's a lot of Fungals that are going to stop these Blink Stalkers from going much of anywhere. I'm not so sure. There's not a whole lot of beef to the army for Sasquatch yet, but he's about to have 18 Lings pop out. There they are. He has a whole lot that are on the field that are harassing these Stalkers, these Sentries, and these Zealots. And finally, freaking forward pylon going down as Sasquatch gets ready to defend against this attack, and big Fungals landing, catching this army sort of split in 2, and Fungals can continue to go down when these Zerglings rip apart the Stalkers. But there's the big warp in, and it is going to be 6 Stalkers. I'm not sure if that's the right choice here, because against Infestor Zergling, really not effective. The Sentries are getting ready to pop, although, wow, great force was trapping a lot of these Infestors. Some beach balls going down. The beach party is had, and those infested Terrans are going to force to back out completely, getting that last observer, or that last Sentry, and the 4th pylon.
This has just been such a back and forth game on this map. It's really been a treat to watch this. Both players struggling to keep that third going up. Finally both players are stable on their third bases now, and we'll see who can be the first to take the 4th.
Well, actually, as you say that, we have a fourth going down for Sasquatch. He knows he needs to get ahead of his opponent. He knows that, you know, after this amount of time, his natural is just as mine out as mine. Ooh, we got a Templar Archives going down. Great way for a gas dump.
Yeah, it is a great way to get rid of gas. Great way to kill infestors, too. As well as those Archons are just so good against circles.
Yeah. Feed back those infestors. Anything over 90 energy, which means anything that pretty much has a fungal and then is sat around for 20 seconds, is going to just pop. And Kappn trying to get his own for it, even photon cannoning around, and Sasquatch sending up a singling is going to spot it. He knows what's going on, and this is it. It is the battle for the bases. Equal supplies going on. However, there are 11 more workers for Kappn, so he's got 11 fewer, and his army supply, huge infested Terran drop, and that's a great maneuver. Look at the DPS of those infested Terrans. Oh wow, 3 Templars were straight in, thought, oh well, I'll just feed back the infestors, and then they get instantly sniped. Terrans. Terrible, terrible maneuver by Kappn, who's suddenly facing not so great on the resources. There is an Archon morphing back by the third, but he doesn't have a fourth. I don't know how much was canceled and how much was killed, but now Sasquatch is looking really, really, really good.
Yeah, Sasquatch is now taking complete map control. The supplies are still pretty close. That is just a ton of infestors.
Oh,
right now
man,
it's
just
20. They're on the front lines.
Man,
5 more.
Huge blink forward. This could be the end for Kappn. He's trying to get Psystorm done, but even more beach balls, and all these infested Terrans are going to do huge DPS. They don't have any upgrades, but they're shooting as fast as the Hydra and doing half as much damage. They walk slowly, but man, they really are Marines, peppering down at that Cybernetics core, at that warp gate. Even an Immortal out here, I don't know what he's doing or where he thinks he's going. But now, the Sentries, full on energy, might get killed very quickly. The Archon is trying to do what damage he can, but he drops immediately. Zealots are trying to warp out here, but there's no charge. Yeah, this is looking very, very good for Sasquatch, who with all these infestors can just toss beach balls like it is a rock star party.
Yeah, and this is very good for Zerg now, just trading energy for units.
Yes, I mean, this is beautiful for them. It's exactly what you want to do when you're playing infestors. You know what? He says, hey, why don't I get some more infestors? He's also getting the crackling upgrade, so his Zerglings will be on crack with those adrenal glands. Getting, how much is it? 50% extra? 20% extra attack speed? That is, if you play World of Warcraft, a slice and dice for your Zerglings. They are 2-2, going for that third Carapace, and the third melee will no doubt follow suit right after. And here's a big attack, trying to trap a few Zerglings with a force field does not go anywhere. But oh man, Psystorm is researched. Psystorm is getting ready. Does the Zerg have their windows all boarded up because the storms are coming in? Beach party is canceled. But still, no, it doesn't matter. Sasquatch says, you can throw a hurricane at me. I'm going to throw beach balls until the cows come home, and it is going to work. He just has so many infestors. Good
The infestors are very low on energy now.
Finally running out of infested Terrans, he can push, but their Archons just finished morphing are going to die very quickly. Infested Terrans are still able to shoot very, very all over the place, just destroying everything. Zerglings ripping in half as that crackling upgrade has finished, and he's actually going right for the Archon as it's morphing to get it before it's even doing anything. It only costs 25 energy to throw out those infested Terrans, and that is going to be GG.
All right.
No, we don't. That is a phenomenal game. I love that back and forth and back and forth. That was game 1, wasn't it?
Yes, that was. That was, yeah, Winners Bracket Finals off to a very good start.
No kidding. We're looking to get set into the second game as soon as they get it going. We're going to be back in just a little bit. We're making sure that our players are ready and also getting lined up everything that will be happening for the rest of the brackets, ladies and gentlemen. Having fun, enjoying the silly commercials, because really, I enjoy the Kingston commercials. We're going to be back soon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are just waiting for the next game to get underway, getting invites set out, making sure that we are refs just in case something bad were to happen. And it looks like we are set up. We are good to go. The next match is going to be on Cloud Kingdom. Seen that map before, you know it very well, and especially if you play this game, if you are familiar at all with the ladder or the tournament scene, you have seen Cloud Kingdom coming up. I am excited to see these two go because it is going to be great.
Oh yes, another great PVZ. This map is a little bit easier to take that third, so we'll see see if we can get that 3-base Protoss that all the Protosses want to be.
Oh man, I honestly was a little surprised last game we didn't see any Colossus.
Yeah, we just got kind of stuck on that Immortal Sentry Stalker, you know, for really the whole game, and you know, right up until the very end with the High Templar, that was really all that we saw out of Kappn.
It seemed to be that the Stalkers, I'm sorry, not the Stalkers, the Sentries were there because the Zerglings and the Roaches needed to be zoned out, but they kept up pressure so very well that you never got to that 3-base economy that you really, really, really want.
Yeah, it was really just one mining base versus one mining base for most of that whole game. You know, until the fourths finally went up for Sasquatch, and Kappn's almost got up right as the Zerglings came in and crushed it. But
So we have spawning here in the bottom left corner is going to be our green Protoss player, Kappn. In the top right, his opponent is going to be Sasquatch. I really enjoyed the solid, dependable, safe play of Kappn in the last game. I really wish he would have hidden forward pylons around the map. I think that could have made the absolute difference.
yeah, when he finally did push in and kill the third of Sasquatch with his main attack force, there was no way for him to reinforce because he had no pylons, no warp prisms around. It was, you know, really that was all that it was. There's no way for the warp gates to really come into effect and negate that defender's advantage that Zerg has when you push right up into their base.
Cloud Kingdom, of course, a lot of people predicted early on that this would be a very Zerg-heavy map because of the many corridors for being able to counter. But I think that recently it's actually become less favored by Zerg because they don't like the what am I trying to say? The small choke points. There's a lot of potential for, you know, force fields to really zone out half your force and get him killed, and then the other half to be left, well, half as strong.
Kind of an interesting pylon placement for Kappn right now. He's got his pylon on the high ground powering the forge on the low ground. Kind of a neat little variation on the forge fast expand on this map.
It certainly makes it to where it can be sniped early, and yeah, Sasquatch is going to see that and know, okay, well, he's going to have to put a second pylon down there to wall it in, but he is going to be able to get that cannon down, as we can see.
Gets the cannon, he'll likely drop the gateway. Pylon, okay. And gateway will finish off that wall, and then once the Zealot comes out, that'll be a nice solid wall for him for the early game.
Yeah, it's just, like you said, it's very interesting to see it that way, and I do very, very much like that. And finally have that third going down. The second base has gone down, the third is getting ready to, and bam, it's dropped. And bam, it's dropped. There it goes. So you're like, come on, Sasquatch, don't make me look bad, dude.
Let's just drop it, come on.
Come on.
You know you want a natural.
Now the
Zerglings get around.
Yes. Because of that cannon placement, they are able to get in, and it is going to force at least a little bit of lost mining time. We're going to have to see, can a probe get sniped? Not quite. A few are, one does go down, and a few are turning around to fight. 2, 3, maybe 4. Really need to fight with all the probes you can to get that DPS to push in and just, you know, get us a quick kill. Now Kappn is going 2 and 2 for his extractors, for his assimilators. It's a very there was something particular about that. I don't know Protoss builds, but there's something in particular about that speaks of a Protoss build.
Well, it's, you know, it's just kind of a nice, easy way to, well, I guess it's just a good way to get four guys on gas without money out when guys are too early.
Now, when all of that was said and done, 7 workers were killed by the Zerglings. Really good job considering, you know, what else was going on. Just being able to slip into that early game with not much in the way of like, oh, I can't make a big difference. You know, we're only 6 minutes in, but he's like, nope. Get these Zerglings in, give them some good control, try not to lose them too much of anything, and great response.
Yeah, that was a very effective, early game harassment. You got to see both of the geysers going down, so he knows that there's going to be a nice little. Seeing both gives you a lot of. God, what am I trying to say? It gives you a lot of info onto what's going to be coming. You know, it's pretty standard with a Forge Fast Expand, and his Overlord in the back has. Well, has he seen anything? He hasn't seen the core going down, but. That'll likely go in and check and see if the 3rd and 4th gases are going down, and that'll really tip him off as to whether there's tech or a push coming.
Well, we do have Warp Gate starting up right away. We don't see anything silly like with Future, delaying Warp Gate by 3 minutes. We do have the double Evolution Chamber, and I always like that because one of the advantages that Protoss should have over Zerg is upgrades. And if you're able to nullify that, or at least reduce the effectiveness of it, then that it really, really, really can make the difference.
Especially that +1 attack for the Zealots makes them so much more effective against Zerglings. And we do see a Stargate going down for Kappn, which is something we did not see in the last game. The Overlord's going to fly right in and see it.
Just typical movement and timing for the Overlord right around that 8.5 minutes. He is going to see... Oh, wow. Actually, both Overlords moving in. He's going to see all 4 of the extra gateways that are going down. And there are a couple of... Again, the 2 Zealot, 1 Stalker pressure that goes in. And it's really just not effective for Sasquatch.
No, Sasquatch makes a whole lot of early Zerglings that are very, very good at parrying that 3-unit attack.
And he even has a Baneling Nest coming down.
Oh, the wall is open.
Yep. Door is open. Come on in. And this photon cannon is going to go down right away. A second pylon is going down, but it's not going to be nearly in time or to block anything, really. Probes are turned around and forced to fight, and it's just, so many kills, and that's it. Kappn just says GG at that. Wow, a single Zealot could have made that difference.
Yeah, just can't leave that door open when there are speedlings all over the place like that.
Oh no, especially after. That should have been the first thing, is, chrono Warp Gate and be like, alright, I need to get something into this doorway.